So the internet is angry at why does the internet hate Chris Pratt so much? I don't understand this. Okay, everyone is angry that Chris Pratt will be in the Mario movie. Why? Okay, Chris Pratt on stealing someone's wish to become the voice of Mario. They're angry because they're gonna probably make Chris Pratt the voice in Mario games too. The only thing is that I'm just gonna be weirded out every time Mario speaks in the Mario games because you'll be hearing Star Wars voice instead of Mario's typical voice. It will be kind of weird, honestly, but the guy who voices Mario is like an old man now. He's not a young person anymore. He has to retire eventually. And some of this stuff like, has Chris Pratt ever played a Nintendo game? The internet reacts to Chris Pratt being cast as Mario. You know, can Nintendo solve the puzzle of video game films? Actually, that's actually true. Is it? They still think that video game movies are all bad. Really? Well, that's because they go by the idiotic, foolish, stupid critic sense, okay? I'll tell you a couple of video game movies that are pretty good. Sonic. I think you all know that one. Everybody's excited for the sequel, except for the critics. They probably have to dread watching, a movie that people actually like and not, some garbage, that's considered cinema, like Booksmart, okay? Or Plan B, or Cuties, or Nomadland, which won Best Picture somehow, and Zola, and Dear Evan Hansen, okay? But of course, it's a me, Chris Pratt, Smoke Mario Cast Box, ridicule. Yep, ridicule. I still understand the hate about Chris Pratt. If it was like, for example, they cast Brie Larson, there would be the difference between Brie Larson and Chris Pratt is the media would be defending Brie Larson because he's a woman. That's the only reason why they defend Brie Larson in the first place, because he's a woman and because she was quote unquote bullied. Well, sorry that people don't like her. Sorry that people think that she's a jerk. Sorry that PC's unlikable, okay? Same thing of Amber Heard, okay? But this is the whole ridicule of Chris Pratt being the Mario movie, okay? And here you go, the hate boner for Chris Pratt's Mario movie, Nintendo's Mario movie explain, brain. Not everybody hates Chris Pratt, of course, okay? It's only like 5 people on Twitter, usually, which out of vocal wild minority. What's the problem with the media is they think this vocal minority on Twitter is the whole internet. They need to stop thinking this, okay? Millions of people like, cool, Chris Pratt's Mario, but they focus on these vocal minorities, which is why cancel culture starts. Again, the mainstream media is never going to listen to me, okay? Because they continue focusing on this vocal minority and treating them like they're the whole internet. Okay? Treating them like they're the whole internet. When you hear this backlash by Twitter, you hear the most recent person, I believe, the most recent high profile person I believe was canceled off of Twitter was Nicki Minaj because he asked a question. Because this is why I do not use Twitter. Okay, Twitter. People are like, oh my god, TikTok is so horrible. Okay? And you'll see all the comments, people saying, let's remove Twitter. Because you still remove Twitter. Twitter is the problem. Twitter is the big problem. And I know YouTubers love Twitter so much. they'll put their ideas and stuff, their things for the videos on Twitter. There's other sites you can do that. Okay? You don't need to go on the toxic hellhole called Twitter. Even YouTube gives you your own options to make polls now. You don't need to go to Twitter to create a poll on YouTube. But of course, the YouTubers are never going to listen to me. They're going to continue using Twitter, which is why Twitter still exists, sadly. I mean, because most YouTubers don't pay attention to this stuff. And then when they get canceled, they're like, why am I getting canceled? Because he used Twitter. I found out the way you get canceled usually is you have a Twitter account and you disagree with Twitter. Okay, that's how you get canceled on Twitter. And if you get canceled on Twitter, you get canceled everywhere else. That's how it works now, sadly. Okay? And people are waking up to this. People are waking up to this stuff, you know. You have actors and some actors and actresses speaking out against this finally. You know, after, of course, you know, they get the wrath of the Twitter mob, you know, and it's finally taking them long enough to finally, you know, realize that Twitter is not a good site. Twitter is a piece of garbage site, you know, here. But yep, here we go. Everybody is angry over Chris Pratt being in the Mario movie. It's just so stupid. Why? Why? I'm surprised that, you know, Chris Pratt's not banned off of Twitter already. Considering Twitter hates him so much. Yep, it's Twitter. Of course. Imagine surviving 2 recessions of the pandemic to only do a Chris Pratt as Mario. Okay? So we had to get inside a movie studio to making changes to an anime movie, but I believe we can do it again. Seriously. Okay? And these are the same people who complained that, you know, they changed Sonic's design in the Sonic movie. Okay? This is a vocal minority on Twitter. They're probably not going to remove Chris Pratt from Mario. If you don't like Chris Pratt that much, don't watch the Mario movie. If you hate Chris Pratt that much, don't watch the Mario movie. You're not obligatory to watch this movie. I don't know why they don't understand this. You don't have to watch it. Instead of canceling the movie and forcing them to change an actor, same thing goes with the Phantom Menace. You don't have to watch the movie. The Phantom Menace is no different than the leftist Twitter. The Phantom Menace is far right, obviously. You know, a lot of them are very far right. They got angry over Shang-Chi's success. They got angry because a movie was successful. Because the Phantom Menace, again, they thrive on bad news. They thrive on getting their way. They thrive on media bending down to them, which doesn't really work most of the time because nobody gives a fuck about big anime titties. Nobody gives a fuck about big titties in movies. Only they want to see it for some reason. Okay, with their obsession with male gaze. That's like half the thing they talk about. It's quote-unquote censorship because you're making someone's tits smaller. Well, I'm sorry. 90%, most people don't have those, what is portrayed in movies. Most people don't look like women that are put in movies. Most people look like the girl who was cast as Faye Valentine. They don't look like supermodels. Okay, and she isn't even that ugly either. Okay, but not everybody has to be a blonde, big-titted woman in a movie. But again, the Phantom Menace doesn't understand that. They're stupid. Okay, they're dumb. Okay? And it's absolutely sad that the Phantom Menace is really going to harass someone over it. Over an actor over this. But then there's the other side, which is far more active. And that is Twitter. The far left Twitter. They are far more active than the Phantom Menace in terms of cancel culture. Cancel culture works on both sides. And again, the Phantom Menace thinks cancel culture only applies to their side. It only applies to their side when they literally try to cancel a woman for not having big enough tits for a Cowboy Bebop show that probably no one's going to watch anyways. So, you know, yeah. And it really just exposes that because I'm not going to be like them and say, oh my god, you know, Chris Pratt best, Chris Pratt greatest, Tomorrow War's best movie because, you know, Chris Pratt's in it, you know, blah, blah, blah. That's the Phantom Menace. That's a typical Phantom Menace person. They literally, you know, praise that movie just because, you know, it was about a white male. Literally, that's the reason why they praise the movie. Not its story, not its characters, not anything else. Because it has a white male in it. Which just proves that, you know, the Phantom Menace is, first of all, pretty much far right, you know, probably even white nationalist at some points. But, because, for me in the politics, I'm kind of more in the center. Okay? but according to Twitter, being in the center of politics is still considered wrong thing, which is stupid. Which center is usually like more towards the center. The Phantom Menace is far right, and both sides they just want the way, and I think that's why this country is so divided because both sides act like babies. Both sides they act like big babies and they don't get the way. The Phantom Menace will make 10 unnecessary videos of harassing a woman for her tit size. And then, of course, the Twitter will make hundreds of tweets trying to get Chris Pratt out of Mario. Basically exposing both sides as who they are. Basically, the Phantom Menace wants to push the traditional world, and essentially, Twitter wants to post the woke garbage that nobody cares about. And no one's gonna rightfully buy. Because nobody cares. Because Twitter is only like hundreds of people. It's only thousands of people that are really a vocal minority of an already pretty large political party. So, political group. So that's basically about this video. Goodbye.